So, hello everyone, welcome back again to Cyber War Lab, where you get to learn about cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and much more. Now, in the yesterday session, we discussed about some networking basic fundamental, that what is the differentiate between the network penetration testing and web penetration testing, what is different between the active and passive reconnaissance, and why in the network penetration testing it is very important to go with the passive reconnaissance. Okay, so those who were in the yesterday session, those who understand very well. But in this session, what we're gonna do now, we'll go with a live example. So for that, I've already created a machine. So those who know and those who solve this machine very well, those who not solve this machine, for them. Okay. So right now, when you will come on this IP, so you will see that there is a website is going, a website is running, a basic website is there. Okay, this is a landing page, a simple website where you can see home, about us, our team. So the challenge of this machine was very simple, that you have to perform the reconnaissance, you have to go with the reconnaissance footprinting, you have to collect the information about this website, and at the end your goal was to find out the user flag and the root flag. So now just take an example, you are performing a penetration testing on a client side, and the client assigned you an IP address like this, and when you open the IP you will see there is a website is running like this. Okay, so you will go as a normal penetration tester, as a fresher, you will not understand exactly what is going on and how we can find out the vulnerability. So for that, we already told you that reconnaissance is a very important in such things. So for that, what I'm gonna do now, as we can see, everywhere we have only a content, we don't have anything where we can upload anything or we can put anything. There is only a simple contact form. Okay, and that thing which is not vulnerable to any access or reflected access, something like that. There is no login page where we can go with the SQL injection attacks. So what I'm gonna do now, next thing is that we can go to identify what are the technologies which has been used. Okay, which I've already told you in the last session. So for that, what I'm gonna do now, first of all, I'll open this website in Firefox, and then what you can do, you can just use this extension which is the webalizer. It will gonna tell you what are the technologies has been used inside this website. So right now in the programming languages it's used PHP. Right now this website is hosted on Apache server and the CDN which is using the Cloudflare. But let's forget about this, we not got anything which can be critical. So what I'm gonna do now, the next thing, we can go with the Dirtbuster to check if any hidden directories are there or not, right? So I'll simply come over here, let me go over this, and next thing, let me just simply put this extension backward slash. Next thing, that I'm gonna go on the root directory. Inside the root we have a share, and then we have a word list. Inside the word list we are going to use, my bad, Dirtbuster, and we are going to use this one file. And now let's simply click on the start. So what it will do, it will crawl your entire website and it will check that if any hidden services or if any hidden directories are running or not. Okay, so right now we have index.php, icons, css files, but we are looking for something which can take us to something which can lead to critical things. Okay, so right now we still didn't find out. Next thing, what we can do, every websites have a robot.txt file which tells your browser that, or which tells your search engine that which pages of the sites are allowed to crawl or not, which are not. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do now, I'll simply go over here and let's check the robot.txt. Okay, and from here what we can see, there is something which looks like the hash. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we'll try to copy and let's try to crack this hash. Okay, with the help of crack station, because as I told you, as easy as possible, go with the free tools available on the internet. Okay, so let's try to crack. Let me just come over here because that will take a more time. Here we go. Okay, so our bad, this not indicating to our to any password or something like that. Let's come back again. What we can do, we can just try to check if this any kind of directory or not. So for that, I'll simply go over here and let's just click enter, and let's see what it will come. And yes, now what we can see, there is a web directory vulnerability, which means a web discover. Inside this we have a parent directory. Inside the parent directory we have a nodes.txt file. So what we're gonna do now, let's try to either download or read this file. And yes, now what we can see, this is something which is a very critical. So doing a penetration testing in the real world or on the client side, we figure out that there is a robot.txt. Inside the robot.txt we found that there is a directory in the format of md5. After accessing that, we figure out that there is a web discovery vulnerability is there, which means attacker can upload their files if they will able to get access of this machine. Okay, so what here we understand that inside the node.txt there is a critical things which is our etc password, which means attacker can read the etc password file. Over here what we can see at the end, if you will see, there is a user which name is Zeki, and this is the password which is spring@2020. okay, so what I'm gonna do now, let's try to perform the nmap first of all, and let's see what are the services or what are the ports are open for this target or for this victim device. So here what we can see, there is a port 80, there is a port 8080, and apart from that there is also a port for 22, which means SSH port is allowed. Now what we can do, we have a username, we have something, a password pattern. Let's go with the SSH. So for that I'm just gonna go with the SSH Jackie at the rate, let's provide the IP and go with the password authentication. So let's try. Okay, permission denied, which means it's a wrong password. So if you remember guys, I gave you a hint that if something is like that happening, so what we can do, we can create your own custom password list. Okay, so for that let me just go over here and I'm gonna create our own custom password list. And if you remember in the last session I already told you that there is a not this method only, you can use the crunch, you can use the cup, multiple methods are there to create your own custom password list, but this is an easy way to create your own custom password list, which now if you just click on the enter button, and now let's try to read this file. So here we can see we have a pattern password for this. From this what we can understand, it basically following a pattern of password. So right now it starts from spring 2080, it will end to monsoon, which will also consider summer, winter, monsoon and the spring one. Okay, so next thing is that we have a password list. Next thing what we can do, we'll just go with the hydra -l, which is a capital small l, then Zeki -p capital P wordlist.txt, and then we are performing this hydra to get the password for the user Zeki. So let's just click on enter. If we're lucky, we will get the password. And yes, now you can see we have this host, we have a login, we have a password. Now let me clear you one thing guys, in real world it will not be that easy, but the process is this only. If you are allowed, or if this is in the scope that you can perform the hydra, you can perform the brute force attack, then the process will be this only, that you have to go with these methods. Okay, now what I'm gonna do now, we have a username, we have the password, let's go with the connections. Okay, so right now it's telling that the connection is reset. So let me just do one thing, I'll just come over here, let's go with the PowerShell SSH Zeki @ and let me just simply copy this IP. Okay, there is something wrong. Okay, fine. Okay, my bad, there is something, it's saying the connection is closed. We'll wait. So next thing what we can do, let's directly open in the PowerShell, or we can go with the git cmd. Fine, here it's working. Let's go and put the password winter@2025, and boom, now what we can see, we are inside this user Zeki, and we can simply go and read this file cat user.txt, and we got our first flag. Now the next thing is that we need to become a root user. Right now we have a low level access of this machine, but once we will become a root user, we can go, we can create file, we can delete file, we can create a new user, everything we can do. Okay, let's just try to root the root directory. So right now it's saying that permission is denied. Next thing, if you stuck somewhere like this, what you can check, just check that this user Zeki have any permissions or any files which is allowed to run as a root. So this will gonna tell you that what Zeki can do. Okay, so like if I'll just go sudo -l, and now if I'll just give the password, so right now what it's telling basically that user Zeki may run the following commands on this host name, the root password user bin backup. So basically inside the user bin there is a file which is a or folder backup, and that files run as a hold as a root user, and Zeki can run this file as a sudo. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'll simply run this file as a sudo, and boom, now you can see we have successfully become root. And now if I'll just go and let's go into the root directory. So from here we can read this file which is cat root.txt. So from this machine what you exactly learn, guys, so from this machine you learn that if you see something like this where you don't find any hint, so just try to digging as much as you can, go with the hidden directories, try to look for robot.txt, try to look for the services. Okay, try to find out the hidden directories. Okay, you can use the go buster, xerox buster, dust buster, tools like that which will gonna help you. And if you successfully enter into the system, look the current user what type permissions he have. Okay, and once you'll figure out that, you will be easily able to gain the root or the high level access of the machine. So the main motive of this machine is to just teach you a basic level of reconnaissance, that what types of reconnaissance you can perform, how to do it, how to create your own custom password list, and how to perform a basic privilege escalation to become a high level or a high user or to gain a high user access. So hope you enjoyed this video, hope you learned something from this video. If you like this video, guys, don't forget to comment what you understand, what did you like, and if you still not understand, you can just drop your comment that you face a problem on this particular endpoint. We will try to help you out as soon as possible from our end. That's it, we will meet in the another video.